To be considered for this, you must be a Christian Brothers School alumnus, you must have achieved high success, and you must exhibit Christian morals and ideals. This year's Alumnus of the Year award is Mr. Claude Kelly. And now, my former teacher, Guy Weigel, will come say a few words about Mr. Claude. And former teacher, and my son's former teacher.
Just saying my name gets a laugh. Good evening, thank you. Claude Kelly and I were in the same class, 1975, here at Christian Brothers School, and we also attended Jesuit High School together. Later, Claude went to Holy Cross College, and then eventually got his Juris Doctor from Tulane University Law School. Coincidentally, he and I started our legal careers together, working as assistant district attorneys in the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office. After a successful stint as prosecutor, Claude made a 180-degree turn professionally. Starting in 1992, Claude served as a federal public defender and has specialized in criminal defense ever since. In 2014, he was appointed Chief Federal Public Defender for the Eastern District of Louisiana. 2 years later, the President of the United States nominated Claude to serve as a U.S. District Judge. However, the nomination expired at the end of that congressional session. As you, I'm sure, are aware, defending accused indigents in federal court is an almost impossible task. But Claude has devoted the majority of his professional life in doing just that. And in my opinion, you're not going to find a more decent, intelligent, or honorable defense attorney than Claude Kelly. He is a lifelong New Orleanian, sharing his life and humor with his wife Ann and daughters Kate and Rita. On behalf of the Christian Brothers School Alumni Association, it is my honor to introduce the Alumnus of the Year 2012. 2018. I should never give an Irishman free drinks. Mr. Claude Kelly.
Good thing he teaches English, not math.
They spelled that 12 wrong.
1, 2, 3.
12-year-old.
Thank you. Thank you, Weigel. As Guy said, we were DAs together. So Guy is a lawyer, but he was smart. He got out and became a professor at Christian Brothers, a legend here, I understand. But don't worry, 99% of the lawyers give the rest of us a bad name. When I'm glad to see Bitters here, and Wolverton and Landry, and all those. That's how we called each other then. Champagne over there. When Mike called me about this, I started digging into some old pictures and things that I had, and I pulled out, I could only find the 6th grade yearbook. Funny though, you're in there. Looking at the pictures though, and just the memories of the people that we were with. I was in Brother Ambrose's class. Brother Ambrose always impressed me as like a retired golfer. Always kind of sunburned and relaxed. Brother Alex had the other class. And just the pictures in there, Strat Morial. John Farrell, how old was that guy after all? He seemed like he was 5 years older than us. Mignard, who was just bad, I remember. Darren Carey, Clutchy Bird, we call him, I think. But what a great place this was. Most of us went to Catholic parochial schools, which back then were mainly nuns. And when we came to Christian Brothers, it was a whole new world. It was semi-abusive. It was rough. And we loved every minute of it. We really did. And I think the point of Christian Brothers, besides preparing you academically, was to have you grow up. And we did that here. For once, mothers were no longer there to protect us. Brother Edward made sure of that. The bulldog, as we call him. The only time we would see him really is he'd come in to give you a report card and just kind of flick it. And my mother loved the story of when two boys were fighting, and I don't remember who, although probably a safe guess would be Alex Cheaton Heaton or Bruce Blom. But one of them's mother knew my mother, and so she called Brother Edward and said, you know, how should I handle this, what should I do? And Brother Edward very calmly just replied, we will handle it. And it was great, but I loved the toughness of it, and I loved the change of it. I loved going home and telling stories about Landry having to run to the hedge all afternoon. Or Brother Harold, you know, at the blackboard turning around with the eraser and humming it at you, and maybe hitting you on the head and then celebrating that he got chalk all over you. Or Brother Alex grabbing you by the shoulder and pinching you until it was excruciating. And Brother Gregory, who was just obviously a legend. I don't know if y'all remember that when we played tops, the wooden tops, and I swear he must have sharpened the steel point on it. And you would throw your top in the circle, and he would try to crack it. And if he dented it and got paint on the tip of his, he would exult, oh, green blood, green blood. But academically, what more could you ask for? It was superior. And the main thing for me is Christian Brothers taught you how to study. And it taught you how to manage your time, because you had to learn that to survive here. And when I went to Jesuit, most of the guys at Jesuit was a transition, but for the guys from Christian Brothers, it really wasn't. Jesuit was easy after here. 5th grade with Brother Gregory was, without a doubt, the biggest shock of my academic life. But there was no grade that was more fun. There was no grade that was more fun. Everything was competition, if you remember. I mean, from the good marks where you got paid for doing stuff good, and then you could pay your way out of trouble. And there was a caste system. And you were like a master, an eagle, a falcon, or a serf. And that was based on the number of books you read, the length of the books, and the level of difficulty of the books. And there were privileges that came with the status that you were afforded. And then we played Jeopardy every Friday. And everybody just looked forward to that so much. It was so much fun. But if you'd messed up during the week, you had to sit in back of the class and you couldn't play. In this ultra politically correct world, so many things would not go on today. But the truth is, it worked. It all worked. This, semi-tough, semi-abusive, academically rigorous, ultra-competitive environment for boys that age. The brothers had it figured out. It worked. It worked, and it was a very, very special place. While Brother Gregory is truly the legend, probably one of my all-time favorites was Brother Philip. I don't know how many of y'all remember Brother Philip. He wore the cassock with the big teeth things sticking out there. And he was the 8th grade teacher. I know 8th grade was later abolished, but Brother Philip was really a special guy. And I don't know if y'all remember, he couldn't find a religion book that he liked. And so he wrote his own. And it was called 4th Quarter Belief. I still have a copy of that. In fact, my mother liked it so much, she used it, because for years she taught RCIA, teaching adults who were becoming Catholics. And she used Brother Philip's book. And I dug it out along with the pictures from the class. And I read it again. And all along I thought 4th quarter was like a football thing. But it was actually because we were class of 75, and it was the 4th quarter of the century. And his book was geared to teaching young boys about Catholicism then. And I just was reading, and I don't mean to go on too long, but it was just vintage Christian Brothers. His intro, of course at this age I need glasses. And in the intro it says, 4th quarter belief is written for the alert high school student. If the vocabulary is at times a little much, it is in deference to the noted intrepidity of the student. He is due much respect. Let there be no insult to his intelligence, nor to his dictionary skills. Understanding this essay, admittedly a monumental task, is not all that a student need do. He should take some action. And that really symbolizes that what Christian Brother instilled in us, the values that he instilled. I have 2 daughters, so Christian Brothers and Jesuit, well, not my focus for a long time. Pio France and Dominican work. But I've always proudly said that the best school I know, and absolutely the best school I ever went to, was Christian Brothers School. So this is really an honor for me, and I thank you very much.
Well, those are two very, very special honorees in the Alumni Association.